What is up, guys? Thank you so much for being here today. I'm Ashlee Tate, and you are watching The Social Life, the place to be to get information on profit building, purpose, and productivity. So, any of those questions related to any of that, please just leave that down below, and I will get back to that at the very end of this live. So, we're trying a little different format, so you'll see me looking around a little bit more. Sorry about that. But I am so excited to talk about today. We're going to be talking about social impact businesses and what that means. And if you're a for-profit or a nonprofit, how to kind of shift into that as your main mission and that as your title of your business. And I really believe, just to be, I'm going to go a little on my soapbox here. I really think this is a way to blur the lines between tax status as far as whether you're a for-profit or you're a 501c3 or whatever type of business you run, and really allowing consumers to have the opportunity to really fund and give their funds and money to people who they want to support because of their mission or their impact or their purpose as a business, more so than whether they are a for-profit or a nonprofit. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I want to jump right in. You guys will see me looking down at my phone because I do have a few notes for myself. One of the first things I really want to talk about is just what is a social impact business. And that is really any business where the focus is more so their mission. They are focused more on the mission and purpose of impact, more so than anything else. So basically, in my mind, it is the alignment of income and impact together, profit with purpose. And so I really love this because I've been on both sides of the equation, and I know that that both sides have, different connotations for people. I know that for nonprofits, it feels like we're always asking for a handout, always asking people to help support us. And as a founder, that can be tiring. And then also as a consumer, that can be tiring to feel like, you want to support someone, but you also want to be a consumer in your own way as well. So, those of you who have worked with me, you guys know that I feel very strongly of nonprofits really monetizing their mission, finding a way to make a path to income sustainability. And that's really what I teach in the Unleash Your Profit course. And so that's something that's really important to me. For-profits, though, I do feel like we also have a social responsibility to find a way to align ourselves with impact. So before I get too deep into this, let's just talk about why we really should blur those lines. And one of the reasons I feel we should be blurring these lines as far as for-profit and nonprofit is because those are really tax designations that help the government decide how they're going to tax us. And so for nonprofits, you're a 501c3 or a 501c4. You have lots of other different ones too. But basically, the most popular are the 501c3. And for the purposes of this channel, that is also what we're going to focus on. But the 501c3 designation just lets the IRS know that we are exempt from taxes and that we do more of our work focused on charitable causes, and we are providing a purpose. Basically we run off of purpose. That's what we do. And if people want to support us, really they're donors, they are donating to our cause. Now, whether that donation is through an event or it's through purchasing something or anything like that, they all are donors. And so that's the difference. And if you're a for-profit, you are taxed in the traditional sense in that you made money and now you are obligated to pay a certain percentage to the government so that the government has your funds for taxes, which is all good. And the idea behind this is that if we blur those lines for consumers, I think that will make such a difference. Like when you call yourself a nonprofit, sometimes I feel as though that equates for a lot of people that we don't make any money for the nonprofit, right? And it is so the opposite of that, because nonprofits can have just as high an income as a for-profit, depending on how you set up that business and depending on how much you have focused on monetizing that mission. So I think that that's obviously very important. Number two is really focusing on, as a for-profit, you're really focusing on aligning your income with your impact. So making the idea that I don't think everybody should just, a lot of times, let me back up. A lot of times what I see with for-profits is they say, yes, I give to all of these different organizations. And I'm not saying that doesn't make an impact, but what I am saying is if you could align your income and a certain percentage of that income, let's just say you chose 10%, 5%, whatever it is, and you focus specifically on one charitable cause or one focus on a specific area. Let's say you are all about sports, let's just say, and you focus it in on one area. You're going to get more bang for your buck if you give $5,000 to a soccer park as opposed to $5,000 spread across numerous small organizations or large organizations, rather than just focusing that effort. And so I feel like for this to work, for the social impact business term to actually work for for-profit businesses, I do feel like it's really important to align with either a nonprofit or a charitable cause that is in alignment with your personal mission as a business and as a person. The things that you actually care about, to kind of put your money behind that. For instance, Nike just did a commercial with Megan Rapinoe, and it was all about gay pride, and they also did Black Lives Matter. They put their money behind a specific thing, and it makes a big impact on what they are focusing their efforts on. And it also lets the world know where your values stand as a business and what you believe in. And so it makes things easier for people to say, consumers to say, hey, I really love this organization and I want to support it. And that's what I think the social impact business aspect or idea, that's what it really comes from in my mind. Now, for nonprofits, I think we have a different hill to climb. The different hill that we have to climb is that a lot of times I see a lot of you out trying to figure out how you can ask for money. And I really feel like you need to focus on ways to create sustainability for your business, as opposed to how you're going to ask someone else to give to that business. So I'm talking about learning how to monetize your mission, meaning how am I going to take what's important to me, this business that you've created, and how are you going to create products or services or events or whatever around that so that people will want to donate and be a part of whatever it is that you're doing. What this also does is it shows people that you are sustainable, right, as a business, that whether it's a slow year or a bad year or good year, or your donations are coming in regularly or they're not, you're able to sustain yourself because you've built something in place for the monetization of that mission. And I do feel like there is a little bit more respect there when you are not out always searching for more, but you really are running your business as a business, which is what in my mind makes it a social impact business, because now you're focusing more on the alignment of your income and your impact. And that's really what, in my mind, a social impact business is. Aligning that impact and income together, learning how to profit with purpose, and then being able to share that with the world. And it really does take the stress off of both ends. When a for-profit says, hey, I support these types of organizations, or I've already partnered up with this organization, it allows you to really focus your efforts and to give as much bang for your buck as you can, and to get that also, and sort of create a partnership with a nonprofit or with a charitable cause that really aligns with your personal values in your business or your business values. For a nonprofit, what that does is it tells the consumer, hey, I'm supporting a nonprofit in a way where I am also getting something back from it that I'm really enjoying, or that I also agree with, or that I need, or whatever, and I'm supporting this. And it puts you out on the business landscape in a different way than people are used to. And so I do feel like these things are very important. I do teach this in the Unleash Your Profit course, where we focus specifically on finding a way to monetize your mission, and then how to get that out to the world, and how to really share your purpose with the world. So that's what we do there. Let's see. And then lastly, the biggest thing I want to leave you guys with is the most important thing about any of these things is really to make sure that you are measuring that impact, measuring that income that comes in, and measuring that impact. Because none of this matters if you can't go back and really track it and say, hey, this is how we did last year with this way of monetizing our mission, or this is how we did last year when it comes to impact. This is the impact we made. And the reason I say that is so that you can then regurgitate that to your consumers. And in the end, both of us have consumers. And imagine if it were easy to find social impact businesses that I could say, hey, it's a for-profit business, but they have used the tag hashtag social impact business or whatever. And I could look that up, and I could find businesses that I wanted to support that had a social impact bent attached to it. Or I could find nonprofits that identified as a social impact business because they are independently sustainable without just solely relying on donations. I know that it's a solvent business because they also are making an income on their own. And these two identifiers allow us to blur those lines for consumers and say, hey, I'm a social impact business. If you're a nonprofit, meaning I'm income sustainable without only donations. And then for a for-profit saying, I am aligned with an impact, and I make an impact, like I'm aligned with a charitable cause, and this is what it is, and this is where we do it. This is how our employees are involved. All of those things are so important. And I think as we move into, a new generation of students and consumers coming out, mainly millennials, that is what they are looking for in businesses. And I think that if your business is not ready to pivot and really kind of make that adjustment and start standing on the idea of we make a profit and we make a purpose, it makes things, I think it's gonna make things a little bit difficult, because I really do feel like this is where the future is going. We are looking at more businesses as far as sustainability, looking at income and impact, and if they are making those things happen. I am one of those people who do feel as though businesses do have a social responsibility as far as committing some form of time, funding, resources, anything that they have available as a for-profit business to the charitable causes of the world that really would help move our world forward. So I know I sound like a little hippy dippy. I'm all over the place on this, but I really feel very passionate about it. Any business that I come into contact with, whether through the nonprofit side or through the for-profit side, as far as friends, or through consulting at the Small Business Development Center, any of those things, I always tell for-profit businesses that they should have some sort of social impact that they align with. And really, honestly, that is so helpful to your business, by the way, as a for-profit, because it really does help you stand out and be a little different. And it gives you something else to talk about in addition to what your services are and what your products are. You're also able to say, hey, these are our values, and these are the things that are important to us, as a business. And this is where we really focus our funds and our resources that we have that are, extra. So anyway, getting off my soapbox for a moment, but that is where I really believe we should be going with business. And if you would like to join me in that, where you feel that you meet the qualifications to be a social impact business, I would love for you to also help me in using the hashtag social impact business when you are talking about your business and You want to let people know that you are a social impact business and that you're making a social impact. And then share it and let us know what you're doing and how you're doing that, because it's just not a common, we don't have a common theme or a common term that we use to really identify ourselves as a social impact business. A lot of people use nonprofit, some people use social entrepreneurship, and some people use social responsibility. And I think if we could just use one term, that would be very, very helpful for all of us as consumers to look for the types of businesses that we want to support that have some sort of value alignment built into their business strategy. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. And if you'd like to read the full blog on what a social impact business is, you can go to ashleetate.com and slash social impact business, or you can go to my Instagram page and it'll be linked right there. It'll also be linked underneath this video below. And if you have any questions for me, please go ahead and leave those as well. You can leave them below this video. And I think that's it. So I hope you guys get out there and have an amazing week and unleash your something amazing. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.